Janine Lowe's walk-up apartment was quiet, the quiet of the unknown. The park and street in front of it were lifeless sketches on a canvas. They waited for human additions. But it at least prevented the procrastination monster from growling. The silent surroundings brought the overworked HR executive a few hours on the online clock, while her 6-year-old son Nicholas recharged his used-up rambunctiousness with sleep. And relationships were a gladiator's cage for the single mother. Her ex's constant text to talk about son were constant battles of the lows. What was worse, fellow HR executive Maddie couldn't resist the limelight. The credit-stealing aficionado often told the management about work that had been done before she could. Ever the responsible adult single mother, Janine tried to logic everything to Nicholas. ChatGPT became her unofficial guru. Everything from why flats make noises at night to what happens when children talk to invisible friends. Busy as she was, she tried to sound out the neighbor upstairs. No one ever did. At her wit's end, she approached the building manager. Another vague reply. Oh, the apartment. Empty since COVID struck. She left. Chunga! Nicholas didn't make things much better. Janine arched over his young shoulder over breakfast one morning. He was occupied by what most 6-year-olds were, stick drawings, except that his was of a lady, too real. Janine recognized her at once. She had never described her to Nicholas. The lady from the vacant apartment. The boy merely smiled and looked up. She doesn't like it when you pee. Again, childhood fantasy was her comfort rationale. Until she began to hear noises at night, humming, ethereal singing, footsteps shuffling. Things started to move. She left her bedroom slippers turned to the bed. They pointed to the bedroom door in the morning. It had been locked to prevent Nicholas from skateboard spying. He sketched again the next morning, this time with a caption below the drawing. She's watching. What was a stress bomb that tore her hair out further? Mary continued her climb up the corporate ladder, kicking the rungs beneath. Her credibility slipped, sleep eluded. Her trusted colleague, Lisa, pulled her aside in the bathroom. Hey, is everything all right? You're looking pale. It's not just stress, is it? Things that would go wrong did. Printers jammed. Another proposal vanished. She thought of the humming she'd heard. It sounded faintly like a lullaby from her childhood. Nicholas brought her another drawing that night. Her jaw dropped. One of herself, with the lady upstairs holding her shoulder. But the single mother didn't let that faze her. Something was bleeding through, and she needed to stem it. Janine was exhausted, not by stress, but by the unknown pressing down on her entities. She couldn't ignore what was happening. She needed someone's ears, Lisa's, the building manager's, even her ex-mother-in-law's, but wasn't sure which would hear. Without setting off alarm bells that wouldn't stop ringing, she plucked up whatever courage she still had and crept upstairs, through the dank and darkened corridors of an untouched floor. The door to the empty apartment was as suspected, dust covered with paint chipped into the places. An old shrine stood near it. The tenant hadn't cleared the altar before she passed. In the home, with trembling fingers, she tapped it gently. No one answered. She was about to turn away when a whisper pierced the still air. Janine! A soft click. Something moved. A note slipped under a doormat. Beware of it. Before she could figure out what it meant, the note dissolved into nothing. She kept typing the word it in the document she was working on. At work the next day, she couldn't help herself. Then, strange happenings in her favor. Every time Maddie tried to claim her credit, the CC chain would vanish. Each time she vented about cancelled leave, the system would auto approve hers. It seemed like a trade off with the unknown, one that made her cringe. But something sparked. It was pride, a compelling force that stopped the need to ask. She returned to the apartment that night. The door was ajar. The home felt warm, strangely welcoming. On an old table was a sketch of Nicholas, smiling. Next to him was herself, calm, a proud mother. Back at work, she found that Mary had done the unthinkable, tendered her resignation. She deleted the word it from her working document, and it retyped, I heard the sign off. Neighbor, ho, qui, friendly